Right now, the nation is preparing for a significant week and saying goodbye to the 39th President of the United States, President Jimmy Carter. And by this time Saturday, the motorcade carrying the former president will officially be en route to Atlanta upon arrival around 3 p.m. The motorcade will pause at Georgia's state capitol for a moment of silence where Governor Kemp, Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, and other lawmakers will join. The motorcade will then move to the Carter Center, where an arrival ceremony will take place around 3:45 p.m., followed by a private service. And that's where we find 11 Alive's Liza Lucas. Liza, the public will be invited to pay their respects Saturday evening.
Lying in repose will begin around 7 p.m. on Saturday, and it's a little hard to hear, but there's actually a music rehearsal happening right now at the Carter Center. We've been watching the final preparations take place throughout the course of this morning. We've seen the Honor Guard also rehearsing as well. Again, the public will start making their way here over the course of the day tomorrow. Those MARTA shuttle buses that we've been telling you about will start around 6 p.m. in the evening. Now, there's no parking, and road closures are already in place here at the Carter Center, so those MARTA shuttles are your best bet unless you plan to walk or bike to the area. You'll need to pick up the shuttles at the King Memorial stop, and we're told that MARTA will be running the shuttles every 3 to 5 minutes around the clock. But this is really important. You cannot bring anything on board aside from a diaper bag, and expect that to be searched thoroughly. So that means no backpacks, purses, etc. The same rules are going to apply also at the Carter Center. We have been talking to the staff here all week as they prepare to remember the 39th president. Sarah Johnson actually traveled with Carter several times as part of the democracy program and tells me he was a kind man who woke up every day ready to make a difference.
He got up every day at 5:30, said that he felt like he was a little lazy when he was president because he got up at 6 when he was president. And he started every day with a determination that he really could make a difference as an individual, and that people could make a difference as an individual. So he did what he did because he felt very strongly that as a former president he had a voice that was very important and that people would listen. And he gave voice to a lot of people who didn't have one.
Again, the public repose will begin Saturday evening at 7 p.m. and will continue until Tuesday at 6 a.m. in the morning. Those shuttle buses are going to be operating around the clock. The Carter Center telling 11 Alive that there is going to be space inside the Carter Center for several hundred people to stand in line, but expect for those lines to extend outside and prepare for the weather. It is already a cold one, but we have already seen mourners come in. I spoke with one man traveling from Austin, more than 13 hours to pay his respects from the president, and we'll have more from him coming up at 11:30. Live at the Carter Center, Liza Lucas, 11 Alive News.
Thank you, Liza. And as Liza laid out, final preparations are being made as Georgia and the nation, they prepare for President Jimmy Carter's state funeral. It begins tomorrow in Plains, Georgia, where Zach Merchant with the 11 Alive political team has been all week. Zach, lay out for us, what can we expect with these ceremonies starting right there in Plains, Georgia?
Well, you're right. It does start right here in the Plains community. We're less than 24 hours away from the beginning of that first leg of this multi-day state funeral. And right behind us is Highway 280. This is the main route through which President Carter's motorcade will process through the town. And if you plan to be here to pay your respects, this is what you need to know. At 10:15 a.m., the Carter family will arrive at Phoebe Sumter Medical Center, where current and former members of President Carter's Secret Service detail will load his remains into the hearse. At 10:30, the hearse will depart from the hospital towards Plains along Highway 280. The procession will travel through downtown Plains and on to President Carter's boyhood home. There, at 10:50, the hearse will pause as National Park Service staff toll the bell 39 times in honor of the 39th president. Then, at 10:55 a.m., the late president will begin his final journey to Atlanta. One woman who will be there for all of the Plains events is Andy Walker. For years, she was the Carters' next-door neighbor and loved to cook for them. Like for many in Plains, this is a week of sadness, but also of smiles as she looks back on fond memories of the president, like the time her family from Pennsylvania visited for a dinner party.
We were having a low country boil, and so, you know, you eat all of it with your hands, and everybody sat down. President Carter had his plate. Miss Rosalynn had her plate. And my granddad said, "I'm not quite sure how I'm going to eat this." And President Carter went, "Well, I don't know how you guys do it up there, but in the South, we pick it up with our hands and take a bite."
And you talk to people here in Plains, so many folks have stories like that about a presidential couple that never, ever forgot its small town roots. We're live in Plains. Zach Merchant, 11 Alive News.
Thank you, Zach. And you can stream extended coverage of Jimmy Carter's life and legacy right now on the 11 Alive Plus app. We also will have live stream coverage of the motorcade that's happening tomorrow. The app is free to download on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. And you can also send your condolences to the Carter family. Just text Jimmy Carter to the number on your screen. We'll send you the link to make a public tribute, plus the latest on his memorial plans.